I really enjoyed the conference. Everything worked as we had expected, as we had planned. I hope you enjoyed it as well. The scientific program was great. The gala evening was just splendidly gala, I think. I even escaped the dungeon, so I think it worked out all quite nicely. And we have a couple of things to show to you, to talk about. So without further ado, I'd like to show you the slides for today's closing ceremony. Thank you first. Thank you very, very much for coming to virtual Lübeck. Of course, there was no coming to real Lübeck, but maybe you can catch up with us in the future and you can come here in the near future. So the four of us who were organizing this conference are here on stage again, and we would like to give you a little insight in what had happened. It took us more than 4,000 emails to organize this conference, and in the weeks running up to the conference and also during these interesting days, we had about 500 help desk requests, and I don't really know how many meetings we held, just too many to count. We were really, really lucky to have so many volunteers. 32 people from the University of Lübeck and 19 from Hamburg helped making this conference work. We submitted 2 grant proposals, both got approved to get the costs down for this conference. We acquired sponsors, we contacted 105 companies. As you can see, 15 resulted in being sponsors. We have participants from all over the world, more than 450 registered participants. We were planning in the beginning for an on-site event, then we were replanning for a hybrid event. We were hoping to be able to do a real on-site event again, but in the end it didn't work, so we had to replan again for a virtual event, even though it was not quite as stressful, I believe, as the replanning last year in Montreal. So we were a little bit more lucky in that regard, I think. So let me give you a few statistics for our website. We had a tremendous amount of views. You can see that we had about 1,000 website views every day. We had visitors from all over the world, but of course, as with the participants and also with the submitted papers, most people came from the countries that had organized MIDL before and the United States. So it's Germany, US, Netherlands, Canada, and United Kingdom in the top 5. And we had quite a few author video views through the content delivery network. That's not a very beautiful statistic, but you can see the numbers. In total, we had more than 22,000 minutes of author videos watched through the website during those 3 conference days. I think that's a pretty good number. Also, our WebEx attendance was pretty nice. You can see a stacked plot here on the left for day 1, on the right for day 2. The day 3 statistics, of course, aren't there yet because the day is not over. You can see in blue the plenary attendance. You can see in orange and gray the attendance for the short orals. They're stacked, of course, and then there's this very strange gap in the middle, and just before the last bulge on the end, this is the poster session. So this is why nobody was in the WebEx meetings. And at the end, you can see the industry ceremonies, the industry sessions, and let's hope that today's final bulge is a little higher than those, and I believe it will be. Also, on GatherTown, we had quite a few attendees on the first day. We peaked out at about 230 people yesterday, and today we went up to about 160, and I think this is quite an achievement for a conference that has participants from all over the world, from probably 24 different time zones, and so many of you could join us in GatherTown at the same time. So this showed us that we really, really achieved our goal of interacting and getting people to interact. And we saw this in our virtual events as well, so this is really a great achievement, I think. So with this, I'd like to hand over to Jan, who will talk a little bit more about the upcoming things.
Thank you, Floris. So yeah, just a few words on GatherTown again. Again, we were very happy to see that you used the platform so actively, and we could see quite a few spontaneous interactions in the bar or at the posters. So that was great. Maybe not as great as a real conference, but I think as close as you can get in the virtual space. The good news is if you met your old friends or maybe even made some new friends in GatherTown, the platform is going to be open for the rest of the month, so until the end of July. So feel free to meet there, to look at the posters and papers again, and also at the videos maybe, or look up your favorite cocktail recipe. Or even take your friends to the dungeon. So the link is posted below here. And one more word about the papers. So if you enjoyed the talks and think you would like to read the paper, the good news is, as is tradition with MIDL, everything is openly available as a proceedings of machine learning research volume, which you can look up or find on the website, and also in an archive compendium of which we will post a link shortly. One last thank you I would like to mention. If you haven't checked it out, check out the RSIP Vision magazine. They have a special edition now on MIDL, so big thank you to Ralph for that, where you can find articles and also interviews from the vision community and all the new hot topics from the community. So with that, I would like to extend a very big thank you to the board again, the MIDL board, for supporting us and helping us with any difficult questions in the process of planning this conference. And I would like to hand over to Ivana for a word from the board.
Thank you. So on behalf of the MIDL board, I would like to thank the Lübeck team for the fantastic organization of MIDL conference. After we all initially hoped for a real life event, the organizers' efforts made the virtual conference very, very lively. With the Gather Town, exercising, social events, industry events, and everything that we have seen in the past 3 days. I don't see my slides though. Okay, so for the first time this year, doctoral symposium was held, where the students could, besides scientific content, also learn about self-management, motivation, and leadership. The organizers received a lot of positive feedback, so we think this was a great success. We would specifically like to thank the people who have very enthusiastically worked over the past year to made all of this possible. So those are conference chairs, program chairs, chairs for virtual arrangements, media, social chairs, and organizers of a doctoral symposium. Organization of a conference requires efforts from many, many people. Hence, we are also grateful to keynotes, presenters, area chairs, reviewers, session chairs, study group mentors. And we are also thankful to sponsors, University of Lübeck and Hamburg University of Technology for their support. We had, in the past year, a call for the organization of MIDL 22 and MIDL 23. You have probably already seen on the MIDL website, but we are very happy to announce that the organization of the next MIDL conference goes to Zurich. The organizers will introduce themselves shortly. And for MIDL 23, it is likely that the conference will go to North America. And as soon as the process is finalized, the information will be posted on the MIDL website. Thank you all for your participation, and I give my word back.
I didn't hear you there, but I suspect that I am now invited to announce the audience awards.
Yes, you are.
So I hope you can hear me. So it's a great honor to do this presentation. So this year we invited you all to vote for your favorite long, oral, and short for your favorite long and short oral presentations. So each participant, each of you had 1 vote for best long oral presentation and 3 votes for best short oral, your top 3. There's no monetary prize, unfortunately, it's just the honor. Now I'm first, yes, there they come. You can already see them, maybe a little bit small, so I will read them as well. The best long oral presentation was given by Abhijit Rajagopal, Understanding and Visualizing Generalization Units. And the runner-up is actually one of our social events chairs, Alessa Hering, with whole body soft tissue lesion tracking and segmentation in longitudinal CT imaging studies. And then we move on to the best short orals. So there were actually 3 best. There was really no way to choose between these 3. Annika Reinke with Common Limitations of Performance Metrics in Biomedical Image Analysis. The other best short oral is Matthias Heinrich with Rethinking the Design of Learning-Based Interpatient Registration using Deformable Supervoxels. And then the final, also best short oral presentation was given by Yannis Hagenaar and was on discrete pseudo-healthy synthesis, the aortic root shape typification and type classification with a pathological prior.
Thank you very much, Marlene, for giving the audience awards. So it's a great honor for everybody who received one, and my congratulations, and of course, congratulations from everybody here. And there are more awards to be handed out, and the best paper awards are presented by Arcana.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So just to give the audience a little bit of information, Andar, Ivana, and I were tasked with selecting the Best Paper Award, and we were given 5 finalists by the program committee, which are described or displayed on the screen here. In terms of our process, each of us independently read through all of the papers and ranked them on 5 attributes. The first is novelty and innovation. Second is technical contributions. Third is experimental results. Fourth is the potential impact. And then fifth is the paper clarity and organization. And then once we had our independent rankings, we pooled our scores and we had to make a very difficult decision about which papers would receive the awards. And in fact, there were 2 very, very close contenders. And so we spent much time discussing them. And without further ado, our runner-up was Semantic Similarity Metrics for Learned Image Registration by Stefan Kolb, Oswin Kraus, and Åsa Fergen. So congratulations. I believe this comes with a €500 award provided by the program committee. And then finally, our winner is Beyond Pixel-Wise Supervision, Semantic Segmentation with Higher Order Shape Descriptors by Hugo Kervedek, Huda Bahig, Laurent Letourneau-Guillon, Jose Dulce, and Ismail Ben Aid. So this prize, I believe, is sponsored by NVIDIA, and so congratulations to the winners.
Thank you very much, Arcana, for handing out those awards. Of course, you will receive a digital award certificate that also goes for the best short oral and best long oral presentations. And we will also mail some paper stuff to your address. So if you haven't provided us with a mailing address, please do so that we can reach you. Now, we would like to hand over to Ender, who will talk about next year's MIDL in Zurich.
Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome you to Zurich. And first of all, thank you very much for this wonderful conference. I think it's definitely a difficult event to follow for organization. With all the difficulties, I think you've done a fantastic job in a lively virtual event. So next year, we'll try to follow this. So we will hold MIDL in Zurich. It will be most likely between July 6th and July 8th. Something about Zurich. So Zurich is a very nice place, actually. It's one of the leading research hubs in Central Europe. There's a very strong corporate ML AI presence here. There's a very strong biomedical research culture and industrial links. And it's one of the major European tourism destinations. So it's within a short distance from the Alps. So up on the right-hand side, you see a wonderful valley of Lauterbrunnen. And in the bottom, the nice thing about Zurich is you can actually take a swim in the Limmat River during conference breaks, which is right next to or very, very close to the venue itself. So a little information about Zurich as a research hub. So Zurich is very actually present in machine learning research. ETH is one of the leading houses in continental Europe with engineering and computer science. Very active in machine learning. There are very numerous companies with the big names here present: Apple, Disney, Facebook, Google, GoPro, Huawei. They're all present with research labs in Zurich. So there's actually a very lively environment here. And it's also in biomedical technology and life sciences. Zurich is a very nice place. University of Zurich is #1 in continental Europe for life sciences. University Hospital is among the leading research centers in Europe. There is an extremely strong biomedical research happening in ETH. And in Zurich and also in larger Switzerland, biomedical and pharmaceutical industry is extremely present and valuable. Now, Zurich is a very accessible place throughout the world. So you can actually reach Zurich with direct flights from almost anywhere in the world. Within Europe, there's extremely well connections for trains. Airport is within the city area. The train station is right at the center of the city, very, very close to the venue as well. And within the city, actually moving is very easy. There's a very large set of tram lines that actually crisscross the city. So it's actually very convenient for public transportation. Now, Zurich has the reputation of being extremely expensive. And if you rent, that is definitely the case. But if you want to find a hotel, actually, there are numerous hotels that are budget-wise okay. So in July, for example, from booking.com, you can find a number of hotels between 30 and 100 euros. The venue, so ETH Zurich and University of Zurich main buildings, are within walking distance from the city center, from these hotels and from each other. There are numerous youth hostels and Airbnb. So I hope you can actually, I'm sure you will be able to find an accommodation to your budget. So about the conference venue, the conference will be held within the main building of ETH. And within the main building, there's a very, very large room. So if you can go to the next slide, that actually, a very high ceiling, a large volume room that actually is used to holding conferences and having poster sessions and large venues. So for that respect, we're quite lucky to already guarantee this place for middle 2022. We also are in talk and guaranteed gala dinner place, Gasthaus Albiscuiti, which is within the city, so it's a pleasant tram ride through the city from the venue center. If the weather is nice, we hope that we will be able to get a wonderful garden, beautiful trees, and that will be a very nice environment. If not, inside is a very, very nice place, an old building with kind of a nice feeling to it. So the concept format and the organization. So we're hoping to go for a hybrid format that will enable participation without really major travel budget and hurdle. We still don't know how the COVID-19 will roll out. We anticipate about 400 participants on site, and the number of participants online can go higher, as you can imagine. So it's my honor to host this with Björn Mense as general chairs. And we were lucky to actually have as program chairs Archana, Chidu, and Christian join us. So we're lucky to have them on board. And our chief operating officer, in a sense, is Christian Haber, who's actually really excellent in day-to-day organization and following things up. So with that, I'm looking forward to welcoming you in Zurich in 2022. I'm hoping that we can have finally an on-site event. Yeah, it will be wonderful. I miss you all, guys, and it will be great to have you here. Thank you very much.
Well, before you all book your flights to Zurich, let's have a look who made this year's journey possible again. And thank you to all of those who supported us here. First and foremost, our funding came from a couple of sponsors. We've seen that in the beginning. We'd like to remind everybody again of those like DFG and the local or state government, and also the University Hospital, as well as our company sponsors. And I was really happy to see quite a number of interesting presentations, and I hope that quite a few of you we're also interested in getting in touch with the companies potentially. Then, of course, we have so many people to thank that we can't list them all on a few slides, but we would like to name the area chairs and reviewers who are, of course, at the core of making the program possible and really excellent as we've seen it. And so many others like the middle board, we've seen the support we've got there, Open Review, the TPMS team, our session chairs here, the keynote speakers with a great keynote today again, but also the past couple of days were really amazing. Our award committee, which had a really difficult task, the study group chairs, our fitness trainer, and many, many others we may not even have named here. And looking at the next slide, this is the number of people it takes even to organize a virtual event locally. So many thanks to all of you who supported us, and not all of them, actually only few were visible. You may remember Jannis talking to you, but the rest of the crowd probably did a great job without you
really noticing. And that's actually good news. If you don't notice, things work well. You see a few faces here, and you see that, of course, some other institutions like this Schmidt-Röhmelt and our sound and light service here were also really at the core of making this possible. I don't know if you see the video right now, I hope so, maybe. And then in the center, it's about you. And maybe you remember the words of our fitness trainer, come back to the middle. Before you do that, maybe I hand over quickly to Matthias, who wants to know from you how we've been doing.
Yes, just one more final reminder that we all wanted to get your opinion on our conference and would like you to fill out the survey we sent out today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. As a final word, you can see our back office there upstairs, and they're waving to everybody, and also added in from remotely are our support people from the remote support group, you could say. So we would like to thank them as well. I'm waiting for them to show up. Here they are, and they would like to, of course, wave into the camera so you can see them. I would just like to thank everybody. Thank you very much. And we have here on stage again for this great social event, Yannis and Alessa to my right and to my very left. Come, please stand with us. And so, with this, we would like to finish MIDL 2021, and we will do so with a little video that showcases the things that have happened. I hear some noises behind my back. I don't know if that's something that we should allude to, but no. Okay. Well then, everybody is happy, I hope. Have a safe virtual trip home and enjoy the last few seconds, minutes of MIDL. You will see a little show from Lübeck.